All righty, I'm going to share my desktop. And Tom, can you confirm? I don't know. Do you see my desktop? Do you see a picture of me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, cool. Well, then we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. It's the top of the hour. Thanks for attending this webinar. I am Frank Garay with the National Real Estate Post, and we have with us today on this webinar Tom Hutchens. He's an SVP over at Angel Oak, who is the premier top dog numero uno non-QM lender in the country right now. We're super proud to have them as a sponsor on our show. And we wanted to get this webinar done for you guys to go over three things. Right now, believe me, being originators, all the way around here, I know what it's like to come off of a refi lull through the winter, and go into the new year with refis kind of lagging and having to get a bunch of purchase business in. It really makes us start looking at all the areas that we can go and get some new business. And, non-QM loans, through the crash, et cetera, of course, took a beating. But, over the past few years, they've come back and they're not what they were in the past, of course. These are high quality, non-QM loans that are not of the nature that they were in the past. These are safe products that you can get your non-QM borrowers into. And so it's a new book of business, or another leg of business that you can pursue is these non-QM borrowers. There's a lot of non-QM borrowers out there. It's a greatly underserved market because people just don't know that this stuff exists. The three things that we wanted to go over with you guys today, and I'll hand this over to Tom so we don't waste any time and just get right to the meat and potatoes of this, is that we want to give you guys some tips or some thoughts on how to find the non-QM borrowers, number one. Once we find them, how do we qualify them? How do we know if we're fitting the mold? How do we know if we got a square peg going into a square hole? Angel Oak's got a great tool on their site for that. And then we want to, show you guys how you can get some marketing materials that you can get out to your realtor partners and out in the world to let everybody know that you have these products available, and that people who might not think that they can do something might come to the realization, wow, I think I can get something done, which will help you, help your realtor partners, and of course help the consumers. Would that be a fair way to set that up, Tom?
Yeah, you've hit it on the head, Frank. And I was going to cover those three bullets at the beginning, just so you could keep me on track to make sure we get all that in, because I know we're mindful of everyone's time and want to make this as beneficial as we can. So
Great.
yeah, perfect.
Great. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share my screen. I'm going to flip over to you, and I'm going to make you the presenter on this. I'm going to say, okay, you should get some little notification where you can take control, and we'll let you rock and roll. And I will jump in from time to time here just to, have some ongoing commentary about what you're about to show us. So
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Go for it.
Frank, just tell me, if kind of a quality check here, what are you seeing from my screen? Are you seeing a PowerPoint, kind of a full screen PowerPoint? Or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we've got. Angel Oak Mortgage Solutions help millions of non-QM borrowers.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for having us. Certainly happy to be here. We'll start by, here's what we're going to cover, the three things that you just shared, Frank. So don't need to take everybody through that. You did make some comments about the crisis and things like that, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people really just need to understand, that whatever, if you have any preconceived notions at all about what non-prime or non-QM loans are, and you haven't experienced any loans in this space, I really hope we can just leave with you having a much better understanding. Even we're not going to get down into all the products and the guidelines and those kind of things, but just to understand that, hey, this is an untapped market, and a market that everybody should be paying attention to and looking at a way to grow their business. And times they are changing, and they've changed a lot in the last 60 days, as we all know. So with that, I'll just jump right in. The first topic was, where do we find these borrowers? And first and foremost is realtors.
Sure.
Since the crisis, realtors have kind of been that first line of defense. They've weeded out customers because they have learned very astutely, but very clearly, that if someone didn't fit the very tight agency or government box, these borrowers were not going to get a loan. So, we've had realtors for 7+ years now, spend their time pre-qualifying a borrower themselves and not even sharing those borrowers with any loan officers, because they know which questions to ask. They've seen the deals that have fallen apart after they've worked hard to show houses and make offers and all that. And so, really going to realtors and spending time, and there's probably some realtors even on this call today, just, it's an education process that hey, don't weed these borrowers out. Let's have some conversations with them. Let me talk to them. And so, I think it was something you even talked about earlier today, Frank. I mean, most LOs are probably dusting off their Rolodexes and contacting some realtors that maybe they haven't talked to in a while. How about go to them with something different?
Yeah, it's like we have to retrain them to learn to not say no to anything. Because you're right, they've been conditioned, that everything's so tight now. They're just these non-QM products just don't exist. Now we have to kind of retrain our people, say, just don't say no to anything. Just let me look at everything,
Right.
And that's what we need to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. And I think it just kind of when you're calling on a realtor, or making a new contact or recontacting someone, you kind of need to differentiate yourself. And the truth of the matter is, if you go to them and say, I do Fannie Mae and I do FHA and I do VA and I'm really good, what's the next loan officer saying to that same realtor? I just, I believe that non-QM and that the fact that you can help the realtors expand their business is something that's going to, get your foot in the door and hopefully get you to start a relationship with someone new.
Great.
So pretty clear. Everyone needs to drive purchase business, and realtors are a great way to start.
And I would just,
the next one.
Yeah, and before you even move to builders, I would just say, once you guys get familiar with Angel Oak, the products, that type of stuff, this is presentation opportunities, guys. I mean, if you can get in front of a real estate company and say, hey, I'd like to do a presentation on non-QM stuff that's out there, so your realtors understand what's available, so they don't, potentially miss out on something. And you'd be surprised at how many real estate offices will entertain you coming in and giving presentations to entire real estate offices. So, for sure, the realtors, absolutely. But let's go ahead and let's move on to builders.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I would also just like to throw in there, we have account executives, and also want to clarify, Frank, because I want everyone to know we are a wholesale and correspondent lender. So these are products that you as a loan officer would be offering, not Angel Oak is not going directly to the consumer. So just kind of want to make sure everybody was clear about that.
Sure.
But the other thing that I was going to add to it is that even these presentations that a loan officer would love to make in front of a group of realtors, we're happy to go along on those presentations.
Nice.
And kind of be there as additional support as experts in this space to help answer questions, because someone who hasn't closed loans with us may not feel all that comfortable standing in front of a room talking about this subject, but we're happy to help with those kinds of presentations.
That's awesome.
So then obviously another category is builders. Builders seem to have a lot of momentum and have been doing pretty well over the last couple of years, but whenever we talk to them, it's very obvious that they, similar to realtors, are turning potential buyers away, and they know that. And they're good buyers, but they know that they're not going to fit the box that's been set in the mortgage space for the last 8, 9, 10 years almost. So, this is a great conversation starter. It's a way to go in and talk to builders. And, really you could position it as, let's just send me the deals you can't get done somewhere else. That's all I want. And then if you get a chance to save a buyer or two or a house or two that they're trying to sell, they're probably going to give you a shot at all their business. So
that's an excellent idea.
That's just kind of an angle that we've seen work. And also just kind of in general, regardless of the referral source, many of our customers that have closed loans with us tell us they absolutely use our products and programs to open the door, but it always ends up that they end up doing the conventional stuff, the agency loans for that client, for that referral source. So, non-QM is never going to be it's not going to be the majority of the market or majority of someone's business, but if it's 10% or 20% of your business, wow, wouldn't that be great? If everyone
That's awesome.
said, hey, I'd like to have another 20% in volume this year, I think most people would sign up for that. And then if you think about how that being the door opener will probably help you grow your FHA and Fannie Mae business at the same time. So
totally,
that's something that we've seen happen, and we hear a lot from our customers that are doing business with us.
Awesome.
Another group that I think is important is lead generators. Right now, and not even right now, but for the last many years, the lead generators are also putting these same filters on borrowers and who will qualify. We've got there's some pretty interesting statistics that we know because we're in this space, but 34% of the U.S. population has a FICO score below 620.
Wow.
So that's a third. A third of the population has a FICO score below 620. And I'm not here to say that all 34% of those borrowers can qualify or deserve to qualify or should be getting a loan, but I do guarantee you there's a lot of borrowers in that space that would qualify, will qualify, and are deserving borrowers.
Absolutely.
So go into these lead generators. If they get a lead, let's say with a borrower with a 600 credit score, they've had no one even willing to take those leads. So they've got hot leads, no one willing to buy them or take them, so they just really discard them. They do nothing with them. But if you have contacts with lead generators, start a conversation with them.
That's a good
idea. Go to them about the ones that they turn down. And my guess is they'll also, not only will they provide them to you, they'll probably provide them at a pretty significant discount.
So when you say these lead generators, this is like your I know exactly what you're talking about. These
the lending trees of the world.
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah, the lending trees of the world. Yeah, get a hold of them because you're right. A lot of those filters, when they're grabbing the borrowers, they don't even give them the option to say, yeah, I'm under a 620 or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So again, everyone's system is different, but yes, if someone selects their credit scores below 620, I'm pretty sure there's nobody that's going to get that lead. Golly.
And you talk about if somebody put in a score of 780, there might be 10 people getting that lead at the exact same time. So you're already at a competitive disadvantage to kind of fight for those deals. But if you're looking at a different space, you're not going to have the competition, and I think lead generators would love to have those conversations with.
That's a cool one. I like that. That's awesome.
Yep. This is one that I don't think many people think of, but there are many loan officers in the country that they're just never going to be able to offer non-QM products, or certainly not non-prime products. So, that's another networking opportunity. LOs today, let's say they work for a big bank, and that big bank, they just, right down the middle of the fairway, that's all they offer. The LOs there, they still want to be a provider of solutions. So if they were aware that you as a loan officer could originate a loan that was outside the box, they'd be happy to send those referrals to you. You're not there to take the realtor relationship or anything like that. You just want to provide a service to the other LO's clients, and that's something that we see pretty regularly. So another good marketing opportunity, networking opportunity.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in on that. And just to further clarify, guys, this is a huge one because I know everybody has the local banks in their local area. Now, just in my area, in walking distance from me right now, I've got First Northern Bank, I've got U.S. Bank, and I've got Travis Federal Credit Union. And I think there's a Golden One Credit Union right by us as well. Every one of those banks has a mortgage loan origination loan officer sitting in those banks, everyone. And I guarantee you that none of those banks are going to offer anything non-QM, none of them. And so befriending those originators, simply walk in, hey, I'm Frank with ABC Mortgage Company. I just, want to let you know if you ever run into the non-QM stuff and you need somewhere to send them, here's my cards, be more than happy to take care of them. You could literally, in your area, probably have, I don't know, a half a dozen loan officers poised and ready to throw you the non-QM stuff that they just simply can't do. That's a great idea, Tom. Good stuff.
Well, and on top of that, think about these referrals are going to be pretty well qualified, because an LO is not going to likely send you a deal that they know there's no chance of them getting any kind of loan.
Right.
The person it doesn't have a job and has no assets, and they're not going to they're going to kind of already do a first round of qualification
Sure.
for you. So those leads are a lot more qualified than potentially other lead sources.
That's such a good idea, dude. That's such a good and an easy book of business. If I was a loan originator, I'd have 6 or 8 of these loan officers in these local banks, et cetera, and credit unions, and once a week I would go physically visit them, say hi, and just see if I could help them out. You could probably pick up a deal or two a month out of that, no problem.
There you go. That's
Yep.
all you're looking for.
Yep.
Couple more deals.
Yep.
The other, and really kind of the final one, is just accountants and financial advisors. You think about it, people think of non-prime and non-QM as credit risk borrowers, credit event borrowers, those types that have had some credit challenges. But a big part of the non-QM business right now is A-plus borrowers who just don't report the income that they make to the IRS, so they cannot qualify.
Right.
There's over 15 million self-employed borrowers, self-employed individuals in the country, and if they cannot qualify with their tax returns, we know they can't get a conventional loan, they can't get a jumbo loan. So one of our fastest growing product lines is an alternative documentation made specifically for self-employed borrowers. So if you network with accountants who are the ones that, they're managing the books, they know the borrowers who have a great cash flow and everything else, but their job as an accountant is to write off as much as they can.
Absolutely.
And that's what accountants get paid for. So that's an opportunity. And again, that's one that if you talk to an accountant about that, they're going to understand that fully, but then they're probably going to also start referring some Fannie Mae kind of borrowers as well. So
sure.
It's just another door to open.
Great stuff. Love it.
So that's kind of the biggest, at a high level. Those are really the biggest lead sources, Frank, that we're seeing people succeed with. And now I think we were going to change gears a little bit and go to
sure.
What is it that or what are these borrowers? How do we get them qualified? So,
exactly. Yeah. Let's say we get a lead in. Yeah. Let's say we get a lead in. We went to our local credit union and said, hey, man, I got a guy. I can't take care of him. This guy, here's his information. Give him a call. How do we qualify him?
So everyone, please take this down or remember it or write it down or screenshot it or whatever. But Angel Oak MS, Angel Oak Mortgage Solutions, that's our website. That has all the resources really from the rest of what we're going to be talking about is right here on our website. So let's say you have that lead that's come in and let's, maybe it's just a conversation at first. If you look here, we have some helpful links that just make it easy for you, front and center. But our quick quote is kind of the first line of qualifying a borrower. And we named it quick quote because it's just that. It's really quick, it's really simple, and I can show you right now just how simple it is. So we ask you a few questions, very clear. First, credit score. You just fill out the credit score. We have it in different ranges based on products and programs. Let's start at a 720 because we see, another misconception, Frank, is that our average FICO score in this non-QM space is over 680. So, we're not just dealing with, I mentioned the 620 and below is 34% of the market, but we're doing a lot of loans for borrowers that have really good credit scores, but they have something that's happened that is disqualifying them from a jumbo loan or a conventional loan.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that non-QM doesn't mean bad credit per se. It just means they don't fit the QM box, and there's multiple variables to the QM box. So
Absolutely.
that's what goes down here. And I was talking to one of your reps before about that, and he was telling me the exact same thing. He said, yeah, you'd be surprised at the credit score we get. They're not necessarily all bad credit. It's just they can't qualify for other various reasons that we can get by with on our products. So good to know.
Absolutely. Yep. Good feedback. And so then the next question is the loan amount. So you just pick a range. Let's say it's 750 to 999. Loan to value. We'll start with a low loan to value because we do a lot of those as well. Housing history. Here we've got short sale, foreclosure in the last 12 months, 12 to 24. But let's say this borrower's gotten through their event, they're back on their feet. I've answered those 4 questions, and it pops up immediately with what program options we have here on the bottom. So we asked for a 60%, and that, based on these preliminary questions, we have a program called Portfolio Select, which nobody needs to remember that name. That's just what we call it. And here, 60% was what was requested. We will go up to a 90% loan to value for this borrower, but at the 60%, the rate is 4.99. So, some other high-level information about it, but you can click and you can change criteria about this. This was set up as a purchase, but let's say it's a cash out. Okay, well, we can do a cash out, and there's the rate. We can do up to an 85. So it's really just kind of the conversation starter. And is it worth continuing to go to the next level with this lead, with this borrower? Is there a home at Angel Oak to get this loan done?
Okay.
So
I like it.
Pretty simple. Lots of different questions, different scenarios. You can change it to a I mentioned the self-employed borrowers. Put on the bank statements.
There you go.
What we can do up to an 80% for that borrower, and there's the rate. Now, This isn't a rate that you can necessarily go with. So this is purely a quick quote, and I want to make sure everybody understands you can't be done here because we need to go to the next level and really analyze this specific borrower situation. But you can at least have a conversation with your borrower that, hey, I can get you perhaps up to an 80% loan to value, 60% is fine. If you're doing a cash out, a lot of it's going to depend on what that appraisal comes in at. So, you can see you have a range of options here for this borrower.
Cool.
And then you can change other things, credit scores, loan to values, everything else. And it's automated, it's really fast, and it's a good starting point.
It is. I like it because you just go to your website, you click a link, you put in some parameters, and at least you know where your starting point is. So
Absolutely.
It's fast, it's easy.
Yep. So you've got occupancy, second home, investment properties. We have a foreign national loan. Just answer that question, is the borrower foreign national? And different things will pop up. So we've done that. You've talked to the borrower. The borrower says, yeah, this is reasonable. This type of loan would work for me. It would improve my situation, allow me to tap into some of my equity. So the next step, you can do it from right here. It says pre-qualification request, but I'll also show you just from our website, from the home page, pre-qual request.
Okay.
So that's step 2. So click on the pre-qual request, answer a few questions. First and foremost is the account executive. Either you don't have one or you know who your account executive is. You select that person, and then you fill out your information, some information about the borrower. Go down, you upload a 10-0, really at minimum a 1003 and a 1008. It's 1003 and a credit report. If you have a 1008 already completed, that's great. You can make a few comments, and you hit submit, and that goes to that account executive within seconds.
Nice.
So that's really kind of the key for us to turn this into a deal. We're going to evaluate that borrower's credit, the information that's on their application, and we're going to get back to you within 24 hours, Frank. These speed is really kind of a big part of our model because we understand a lot of times these loans and these deals have fallen apart somewhere else.
Right.
But in the purchase world, the purchase contract hasn't fallen apart, and the
Right.
closing date hasn't fallen apart. So we understand that a lot of times people's backs may be up against the wall, and you've got to find a home for this loan as quick as possible. So, a lot of what we do is really quick. So we're going to get a written pre-qualification back to you within 24 hours, and then you'll know all the terms, and we'll be ready to go to the next step.
Yeah, I like this so much because the way I'm envisioning this is I'm going to go find those sources to get these leads. When these leads come in, I'm going to go through the price check just to see if I got something that makes sense to the borrower. I'm going to get the stuff together and submit it and see what happens. You know what I mean? All of this is not taking me too much time at all, and it's opened up the opened up wide doors to potential new business for me that I wasn't getting in the past. So
Yep.
I just and your website has made it very simple, guys. I mean, this is easy stuff, and the way I see all this, guys, is with two big words: why not? You know what I mean? Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't take that much effort to get this, to get the word out. It doesn't take that much effort to, run through the scenarios on the website and submit for a pre-qual real fast and see what comes back. I mean, it's just
Absolutely.
easy stuff, easy stuff. So cool, man.
Couldn't agree more. So those are kind of, that's it. And one thing that you just kind of you referenced, Frank, but I want to talk about is there's also some perceptions, and I would absolutely call them misperceptions, that doing non-QM loans are going to somehow be a lot more difficult than a Fannie Mae loan. I'm here to tell you they're not. And I can tell you that because we've been doing this for 3.5 years, and our customers tell us. We hear all the time from our customers that have closed loans with us that this has been one of the easiest loans I've closed, not in the last few months or not in the last year, in my career. We hear that a lot. So yes, we have to have income documentation. Yes, we have to have assets. But the big thing that we're going to do, even from this very beginning step, from a pre-qualification request, we're going to communicate with you. We're going to tell you, hey, we can do this deal. Here's a couple things you might want to look out for. We've made a couple of exceptions on this borrower, and here's why. And that goes all the way through the process. Our underwriters actually talk to the loan officers and answer their questions and help them if they're struggling with, say, one of the conditions. They're going to offer some solutions to the loan officer. So it's kind of this common sense approach, and that's frankly, through technology and automation, a lot of that has been lost over the years.
Oh, it sure has. I mean, in the old days, you used to be able to talk to an underwriter and they'd work with you, and it's nice to be able to do that in the non-QM world with Angel Oak for sure. Well, we're at 30 minutes in, Tom, so let's go to part three. Part three, which is, this all sounds great. But I'd love to have some marketing materials to help get the word out. How do we go about getting some marketing materials?
Okay, that's a two-step process for some of the people on the call. In order to access our marketing our marketing flyers, you have to first be an approved customer.
Okay.
So I just wanted to show real quick, if you don't mind, Frank, but
sure.
Right here on this first page, broker package. Contact me. I'll get you hooked up with an AE as soon as possible. But our broker package is right here. There's a lot of companies that are approved. We have literally thousands of companies that are approved to do business with us. And if you're on this call now, your company might already be approved. If they are, you go to the same place, and this is a broker user access form.
Gotcha.
And this basically, we set you up in our system. Your company's already approved. So you don't need to go through that process, which getting a company approved is pretty quick as well. We just need this broker user access form. When you reach out to an account executive or reach out to me, we'll tell you whether or not your company is approved. And if you are, then it's simply fill out that form. We'll get you loaded into our system, and then you're free to access all the marketing flyers. So just a little sidebar on that one real quick.
Sure.
So right here, same spot. Once you have filled out a user access form, we're going to give you a username and a password, and you just click right here where it says login. It takes you to a screen. You'll fill out your email, your password, and then you go to this page. and right here across the top, it's called Broker Flyers. And that's where
Sweet.
we have lots and lots of flyers for you to choose from. And I'll just pull one up to show you so you can kind of see what they look like. But these are flyers with program details with nothing about Angel Oak on them. So this is something that anyone can print, get this downloaded onto their computer, and they're going to put their logo right here, fill in their contact information, their name, title, phone, email, address, NMLS number, things like that, and then they print them, and they're off to the races.
Dude, that
print
makes
them,
it
email
so
them,
easy.
However they want.
That whole process is, of course, you're going to get your company approved. That's no problem. In fact, a lot of these guys, probably a lot of you probably already are approved. And then you just fill out the form, you get a login, and you've got marketing materials at your fingertips. Put in your own logos, put in your contact information, and go find these deals. I mean, simple.
Absolutely.
Simple stuff.
And I'll tell you, Frank, it's not available today, but coming soon, we're going to have a link after you have downloaded this flyer where you can click a couple buttons and have color flyers printed and shipped to you.
So
so
you guys will print them and ship them out, and they wind up coming to you in like a box or an envelope, and you just go out and dole them out.
You're done. You're done.
That's right.
Now, I'm not allowed to pay for those, so you'd have to pay for them.
Well, sure.
But it's going to be point and click. So trying to just make it as easy and as simple as possible.
Yeah, I mean, no biggie, dude. I got to tell you, that's good stuff, man. And I just gotta believe that anybody who's watched this, would say, yeah, that's a pretty turnkey deal right there. I mean, we've laid out where we can find these potential buyers, which is pretty easy stuff. I'm a big fan of the local banks, the local credit unions guys, that there's no way they could do that. I think that would be great. I love the idea of the financial planners too, and the accountants. I think that's great. And of course the real estate agents and doing presentations for the real estate agents. But then once I find them, it's so easy to come to the website and just really quickly figure out if I got a shot at this, upload the stuff for the quick pre-qual and make sure we're still on track, as far as a purchase contract or what have you.
Yep.
And being able to come in and just
Frank,
work these marketing materials is phenomenal.
And I wanted to show just real quick back. I should have covered it when we were talking about the quick quote, but this is a really fast tutorial. But you can take that quick quote that I just showed you on our website, and you can put it on your smartphone. And we have lots of people do that. So you can actually be out talking with a realtor or talking with an accountant. And if you follow this real quickly, you go to angeloakms.com from your smartphone. On the bottom of your phone, when you're on that page, it's you click on quick quote. When you get to the quick quote, it'll look like this. On the bottom, this little box with the arrow, you click on that button. It'll ask, what do you want to do with it? And you select add it to your home screen.
Gotcha.
You add it to your home screen. You name it quick quote form or whatever you want to call it. Click add, and then all of a sudden you have an app on your phone.
Nice. That's so cool. So
it goes with you.
Well, at the end of this, we're going to send you guys an email with some assets. Will this PDF be one of those assets that we can send them?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
We'd be happy to put that out too.
Yeah, you guys didn't have to process that and memorize it in your heads. When we're done with this, we're going to send you. What are we going to send them for assets? Anything besides this PDF?
We'll
and the recorded webinar.
The presentation, just so remember.
Good. Yeah. Excellent.
Some examples of the broker flyers.
Perfect.
So they can just kind of see, if they need to go to their broker, their owners, and say, hey, listen, if we get signed up with Angel Oak, this is what I can start doing tomorrow. Let's get this process going.
That's excellent.
And then this little tutorial.
That's excellent. So we're going to guys, at the end of this, and it's going to take us a few hours to put it all together, but sometime today, at worst case tomorrow morning, you'll get an email from us, and it'll have the recorded webinar, and it's going to have a copy of the presentation you can download, a copy of this PDF so you can get the quick quote on your smartphone desktop, and some example flyers. It's all going to come to you guys, and of course, that'll just give you guys the ammo that you need to get this new book of business started and rolling. Why don't we go ahead and entertain some questions real quick? Does that sound okay, Tom, or do you have anything else?
No, that'd be great, Frank. Yes,
okay, let me just
hope that people didn't ask them.
Well, with respect to the Super Bowl, someone said Minnesota was rooting for you. Okay. Yeah, more people are talking about the Falcons.
Oh, no,
All
sorry,
right.
I shouldn't
So,
have got us off
will
track
a
there.
copy of the presentation be provided? Yes, we'll get that over to you.
Yes.
Can you fund foreclosure buyouts? Does that and Tom, try to keep these answers as fast as possible. I want to keep everybody's time sensitive. Bear in mind, guys, all your questions are going to wind up with Angel Oak in a spreadsheet. So that if we don't get your question right here, right now, someone from Angel Oak will be able to get back to you and answer your question. So don't worry about it if we don't
Right.
get your question right now.
Yeah.
Just a quick answer.
So regarding that, I just, if I could, just for a second, a lot of these, every loan that we do today, the loan has to make sense. So foreclosure buyouts, we can entertain that if it puts the borrower in a better position and they have a documented ability to repay and the loan makes sense, then we can entertain those.
Great.
Not a big. The majority of what we see are people that have already been through the process, but they've gotten through that event. They've gotten their feet back on the ground. They've got some assets. They've got the income to qualify. That's really what we see the most of.
There's an interesting, a lot of the questions are, hey, you going to send this out presentation? Yes, yes, yes. We're going to get that to you. But here's an interesting one, and this might be a quick answer. Will you fund unique properties? So like, manufactured homes or 2 homes on 1 lot or properties generating farm income.
I would not think of Angel Oak for the unique property. Strong collateral is kind of a must anywhere in the mortgage business. So, we're looking at challenged borrowers, but in order to do those loans, we have to have a solid collateral and a solid property. So no, unique properties is not going to be what we're going to help out with.
Condos. Somebody's asking condos.
Yes, we do condos and we do non-warrantable condos as well.
Okay. Somebody's saying definition of full doc per Angel Oak. What's your definition of full doc?
It's no different than a Fannie Mae definition. We're going to require tax returns, pay stubs, VOEs. That nothing different.
Here's a good one: investor loans, flips.
We actually, and I didn't go through this, but yes, we have an investor specific loan. It's actually where we're qualifying based on the cash flow of the rental property. So it's kind of a debt service coverage ratio program, not the borrower's debt to income, but the property's expected rents versus the expenses. So yes, we do quite a few investment transactions.
Cool. Somebody loved the webinar. They can't wait to get the recorded version. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if we've got. So you do foreign nationals? Somebody's asking.
Yes, we do foreign nationals. I think it's important to define what a foreign national is. To Angel Oak, it is someone who lives and works in another country. So not someone who's in the U.S. working and maybe isn't fully documented. We are looking at borrowers that live and work in a different country.
How about
we do a decent amount of those, so it's a big part of the market in some people's market.
Okay, somebody's asking, how about non-warrantable condos?
Yes,
excellent.
We do non-warrantable condos.
There's a bunch, guys. We're just not going to have time to get through all this. These guys are loving this webinar, and there's a lot to answer. And just so you know, guys, Angel Oak will answer all your questions because they're going to get all the questions you typed in. They will receive them. And Tom, you'll make sure your account reps reach out to these guys, right? To answer.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I just wanted to put on the screen my phone number and my email address. If you don't, they're actually on our website. There's a place to find an account executive in your market. It's called Find Your AE. But if you want to get to somebody even faster, just give me a call or shoot me a note and tell me where you are, and I'll get somebody back to you as soon as possible so you can get rolling on starting to find these borrowers today.
Yeah, I think I'll leave the rest of the questions, guys, for the reps to answer you directly because they're very technical questions that are going to require some in-depth answers here that we don't necessarily need to hold everybody up for that. So. With that, I think we'll go ahead and sign off if that's okay with you, Tom. I think this was a wonderful webinar, great information. From what I can see in the questions here, everybody dug it, so everybody's really happy with it. So,
awesome. No, glad to hear it.
And I think we're good to go at that point. How do you feel about that?
I think that's great. I think just a couple closing is that this market is growing rapidly. Our volume, we've been setting records every single month, and more people get into it. And really the big difference is today is the performance. We've got a 3.5-year track record of originating these loans for our broker partners, and the performance has just been off the charts good. So, this market is going to keep growing. There's tons of interest in the investor side of the house. So, I think everybody needs to get in now and start building your business.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, we hope that helped, guys. Again, keep your eyes out for the email. It'll come from us. And Angel Oak will be getting a hold of you guys with all your questions and sending you more stuff, I'm sure. Thanks, Tom. Really appreciate it. And we look forward to doing this again. Frank. Yeah, we'll do this again maybe next month. How's that sound?
Sounds good. Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
We're saying goodbye to everybody. See ya.